Hey, good morning. It's Christy Shell. I am on Facebook Live here with you. I'm from Zeal Coaching, where we coach and work with people to ignite their life with passion, purpose, love, and success. I just broke a vase, so I'm like, all right, no problem. Try to set up my little background. So there's me getting all uppity. And so I'm just happy to be here with you this morning. It is Friday. Yay, fun day Friday. Today we are talking about blame. I'm going to jump right in. I'm trying to keep these a little shorter so maybe more people won't feel so heavy by watching them for so long. So today it is Friday and we are going to talk about the blame game. And I know that sounds cliche or whatever, but if you're familiar at all, good morning Andrea, if you're familiar at all with like Brene Brown and lots of the different kinds of conscious leadership type of things that are happening now, the movement in the world, this blame thing is such a big piece of it. But I'm thinking about it because we're going into February tomorrow, and to really think about this month and think about relationships. Okay, so who is the number one person that you blame when something goes wrong? When something goes wrong, who do you usually generally go to? And usually it's your spouse, the dog, the kids, your brother, your sister, your mom, your dad, whatever. We all have kind of our favorite person that we like, they did this to me or whatever. So just recently happened to me. My husband Steve and we had a dog who passed away in the fall, and I was ready to get a new dog, and he said, let's just wait till after Christmas. So the day after Christmas, I'm ready to go. I want this dog, so I start looking. And he was like, I meant like after Christmas, not like the day after Christmas. So I get angry, and this is not a good thing, but it just rolls into this whole blame. You do this, you do that, da da da. It was ugly. I am telling you, I acted like an ugly person. And finally he just said, enough. You are really, really hurting my feelings. And I am so glad he did, because I had to turn that lock and say, wait a minute, I'm just making this huge issue. He's not saying no, he's just not saying right now. And so it was really an interesting thing to have to turn that blame off and look at myself. So blame always makes me think of when we worked at camp. We would say, if you point your finger at someone, there are 3 fingers pointing back at you. And I was like, ooh, right? And so it's just this really good lesson. But here's the thing about blame. When we blame, something doesn't go the way we want. It takes us to fear or defense type of mentality. You hear me talk a lot about this fear defense type of idea. So when we have blame and we go to fear or defense, then we act out of that, okay? And when we act out of that, we're blaming, complaining, shaming kind of thing. But it's all about like wanting control, but it's really about kind of this toxic fear triggering of our fear. Good morning, Rachel. So really to think about what blame really is kind of this toxic fear. And what happens is it makes us, or it allows us not to take personal accountability for our part, okay? So this just happened with a client. She works for a company, and she's working tons of hours, okay? She's working tons and tons of hours. And what has happened, other people at work don't work tons of hours, and she is getting really burnt out. She wants to escape, she's considering quitting, and all these kind of things. But what happens is she's blaming everybody else, the company, the organization, all these kind of things. And she hasn't turned and looked at, why am I allowing this to happen? So the blame doesn't have to be on her, but she has to own her part of it. And so I really invite you to think about this. It really is like turning this key and going, like turning the mirror back at yourself and like, what part of this am I helping to create? Okay, doesn't mean it's everybody, but it gets us back to kind of grounded, and then we can talk to our spouse or the person in a relationship with and kind of have this more open, curious conversation and bring more empathy, because when you are in blame, you are not in empathy. You do not want to hear their perspective. You do not want to listen to their perspective. We are kind of raging, okay? So it's really important to take it and go, what am I afraid of? What caused this? Oh, thanks, Brittany. Good morning. Hi, everybody. I didn't say hello to everybody. I hope you have your coffee with you, because I'm drinking some good coffee and getting myself all pepped up. But here's the thing, okay, is it really taking some time to say, ooh, what part did I play? What are those 3 fingers pointing back at me? And what part did I play? It doesn't mean you have to take it all on yourself. Okay, this is a different kind of, this is the hero, and now I'm going to be the martyr and all that kind of stuff. It's just saying, I played a part and you played a part, and now we can get curious to like how to work on this. It's such a critical thing in your relationships for this month. If we're going to focus 4 weeks on relationship type issues, this idea of being victim or being a hero, or to be a even the villain is the blamer, right? Like, we don't want to be any of those roles. We want to understand and open our hearts to understanding and listening and bringing empathy in our perspective. Like, we don't have to give away our perspective, but we don't have to disown it or whatever, but to come to it with a calmer, kind of creative problem solving type of place. And then we can create more solutions, and we build our relationship instead of hurting our relationship. So it's funny, because since this happened with Steve, so the end of that story is he just said, enough. I am sorry to be treating this way. You're really, really raging at me. And I had to like sit back, get myself in check, and then go to him and say, I'm really sorry. I acted this way. My feelings got hurt or whatever, and I was just disappointed. And when we had a conversation, we got a dog like 2.5 weeks later. Y'all have seen Archie wandering around my crazy house, but he, it built us instead of tear us apart. It is because I allowed myself to kind of open up and take my own responsibility. So this is a great way to keep yourself out of blame, and a great way to kind of renew relationships. So this is Christy Shell with Zeal Coaching. I do a free Let's Discovery, Get to Know You conversation. If you're interested, please give me a call. And I would love to talk to you about anything that you're working on, whether career or life. It's Christy Shell. Have a great day. Thank you.